fish on. Yes, so me and Ty craftily saw some chub up on the bridge. So I flicked some pellets in and yeah, flicked some pellets in and they started taking pretty confidently. So I just snuck down with my little chub mugging rig on the blob and yeah, straight away chucked in. He's only gone and had it. Great start. Not clear what you see that pellet there. Yes, great start. Yeah man, first chuck. Sweet, first flick, first chub. We were just walking over the bridge, saw a couple of these, just milling on the end of the trees in some shallow water, flicked some pellet and yeah, they got on it pretty quickly to be fair. And come down here with my little chub mugging rig, a blob with a banded 8mm, flicked in, had it straight away. Great fun. So hopefully a sign of things to come. There's another swim a bit further up where we've seen a few more. So hopefully the first of many. Right then, we've come down the Dove today. The plan is to sort of spot fish and fish for them. And it sounds simple, but the river's really low and clear. It's going to get really warm today. We've had one quickly. We saw some fish as we were passing over the bridge, fed them, sort of let them get confident. One flick and luckily one stuck it straight away. And we're just literally just roaming around now, trying to find other opportunities. Like, it is warm. I don't really want to put all my eggs in one basket. The fish are sort of drifting in and out of cover. So I've got 2 float rods and I've got one's like set up as a mugging rod with a little blob, banded pellet or a little piece of meat. Once I get those fish feeding, I'm just flicking sort of upstream of them and then hopefully feed over the fish, and then as they're coming up and intercepting the pellets or the corn, the hemp or the meat, I've bought a selection to try and see what they're feeding best on. And also what's visual for me, because I can feed the pellets and get a good response, but it's not very visual for me. Whereas I can watch a piece of meat or a piece of corn falling through the water and judge how the chub are feeding on it. I've touched on, we caught one pretty quickly, so they went a bit iffy after that. Like they sort of just drifted back under the cover. The sun's got up, so I'm just gonna get on my toes and try and find other opportunities. Hopefully we'll find some chub resting somewhere. Next time you see me, hopefully we've got one of them. a quick move to another stretch. I'm just concentrating because I've hooked this so far down the swim, and it, in true Chub style, it is trying to get me in pretty much every little bit of grass and bit of tree, but he actually played pretty well, or pretty nice I should say. Keep finding a few fish, but they feed quick and then nothing. They go all iffy. But he fell to a piece of meat, virtually out of sight. Hopefully, it's getting to sort of bite time now. Fish is just stopped there. Hopefully we'll have a few more. Summer chubbing. Second one of the day on the meat. Moved to another stretch. It just sort of, we found fish and they came straight out on the pellet, but fed once and then disappeared back under the undergrowth. So we've come here, a bit quicker water, still got cover, but it's getting warm now. But another welcome fish, summer chubbing, got to be on the float. So, oh, we'll let him go. Off she goes.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Right then, I've touched on my two setups. Basically, this is what I'd go to pellet fishing for chub, because I don't feed a lot of bait pellet-wise when I'm chub fishing. I put a little bit in, try and wait for them to come into the swim. When it's clear, you see them come in and start twisting. I want them to clear me out pretty quickly on the bottom, and then just little and often, like 4, 5, 6 pellets at a time. And I want those chub to become competitive and come up in the water. So I want like a light rig to present to them. So I've got a pretty longish hook link that I've tied up there. I've got a 14 all-rounder, and then I've got a lassoed 8mm pellet. I have put a little bit of shot down the line, just that's more for fishing in slightly deeper water, and then a Korum blob. I have got a quick change swivel there, one of the new Korum quick change swivels, and that's just in case I want to swap to a different hook bait, sort of sweet corn, meat, something more visual, so I can watch the bait falling through the water. But I found more and more now, especially on like rivers such as the Dove or the Severn or the Team, with a bit of clarity, they've seen lots of pellet, they know what it is now, and I think that the plop really gets them agitated. It sort of, they come to that noise of the pellet. That's what makes them come up. So those little light rigs mug some fish really quickly. If you can see them and then flick a few pellets upstream of them, and sometimes they just charge straight into them, and you know you're onto a winner then. If I was building a swim, maybe with other baits, sort of hemp and castor, or I like corn because of the visual aspect of it. Meat's another good chub stalking bait. If I'm running through bait and trying to build something, then I'll fish sort of a traditional setup. I've got a 4-gram glide Avon float there, 4-gram Olivet, same quick change swivel, just so I can again chop and change between hook links and then try and build a swim. So far I've had a chub on each so far. I thought we had a really quick start. We fed pellet on the first swim and the chub responded really well. There was another swim that showed interest, but they sort of just disappeared. I don't know if it was to do with the sun getting up higher. It's really warm now. But anyway, they wouldn't come back out from under the cover, so stepped it up, ran my heavier setup so I could hold the tree line a little bit more and keep it in that shadier water. And there we had another one running a lump of meat through on the Avon setup. So that's my two go-tos on sort of summer chub stalking. Right, I'm just going to quickly run you through the hardware that I've been using today. My 12-foot glide, I take these everywhere. They're so good. Plenty of backbone, but forgiving in the tip, so I can get away with lighter hook links. But that power in the butt section, if those fish are hanging around sort of any sort of snags, which they have done today, the brighter it's got, the further they've drifted into the snags. Touching on that, with presentation, I'm using the new 6-pound glide floating line. It's fantastic. Being able to pick your line up off the water and try and ease that flow over towards the snags. Because the river is so low and clear, there's not as much flow as there normally would be. Like, the flow would do the job for you. But sometimes today, with the flow's been swinging about and the float will come away from the features. By just being able to pick my line up and catch it in the wind, it pushes my float and the whole rig right against the features, right where the fish are essentially. And that's loaded up onto my Infernos reel. Great little combo. And that's my hardware for the day, really. Does a fantastic job. Right, that's it. The sun's done me in. I've had enough sunburn. I need to get myself off home. It's been tough. The conditions have made things tough. We've spotted a few nice fish. We've caught a couple. Both on the different techniques that I showed. One on my sort of mugging rig and the other one on my sort of traditional haven. But it's been tough, so I think we've got a score to settle. I'm hoping to come back down in the winter, I think, and show you how I'd go about it on a better day, or when the conditions are more favourable. I love my sort of cheese paste fishing, so keep an eye out for it. Hopefully, we'll put a few more fish on the bank in the winter.